I don't know who needs to hear this, but an apology without change is manipulation. I also think it's a red flag when someone apologizes a little too quick, because it just feels like a way to be like, shut up, stop talking. Okay, I'm sorry. What can you do now? Can't be mad at me. I said sorry. Okay, but I'm still mad. And now you just took away my right to be mad. And if you have to have the same conversation over and over again about one issue, manipulation. Because if they were really sorry, they would have changed their behavior the first time. But they didn't. They just want to be like, shut up. I said sorry. You can't be mad at me. I'm going to change. But then they don't.
You know what sucks? When you try and change a guy's dating pattern, and the minute you leave, he's back at it. Back at it. Men are just so ungrateful.
Why would a man be grateful for you trying to change him? Guys, you see so many women complain about the same thing. Oh, why can't I change him? Why doesn't he do exactly what I say? They try and lock down Chad. They try and lock down the man that they really want. And when they find out that they are unable to do so, well, of course, it's the man's fault. This one right here is literally complaining about men who apologize too quickly. In this video right here, guys, she literally says that if you apologize to her a little bit too quickly, she views it as a red flag. This is why men stop apologizing to you. This is why men stop listening to you, and this is why men stop taking you seriously. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video, and on today's episode, guys, we have a few Reddit stories that we're going to be going over here today, just absolutely showcasing the shambles that is modern day dating. We've also got a couple of different TikToks that we're going to be taking a listen to, and guys, the theme of today's video is I tried to change him. I don't know if you guys have seen those memes online where women will say, oh, well, call me a bull because I charge headfirst into red flags, or they'll say things like, call me a therapist because I like trying to fix him, or something like that. Girls are out here literally complaining about men, saying, oh, why won't men do this? Why won't men do that? When they're sitting there trying to change the man. Guys, I have said this since pretty much day one of the channel, okay? But over here, guys, we are not interested in trying to change people. You have all these women out here who want to make OF accounts. You have all these dudes out here who want to simp for them. Guys, let them go and let them burn for their decisions. Okay, if a girl wants to monetize her body, hey, that's fine with me, guys, but don't come crying when the consequences come and nip you in the butt when dudes actually are not interested in committing to you. So, guys, let's take a listen to this first TikTok here and break it down piece by piece. Now, just a fair warning, this TikTok right here that we listened to at the very start of the video, it actually has 131.6 thousand likes on it, has almost 1,000 comments, almost 3,000 shares, guys. So a lot of the times when we pull up videos like these, this is a sentiment that's shared by a lot of women. Now, I'm not particularly disparaging of the first part of the video. I think she talks some sense there, but then she goes on to say that it's a red flag if a dude apologizes to you too quickly. Like, anything that men do is apparently a red flag. So let's take a listen.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but an apology without change is manipulation. I also think it's a red flag when someone apologizes a little too quick, because it just feels like a way to be like, shut up, stop talking.
Or maybe they're just actually apologizing to you. Okay, girls will, man, I tell you what, we see on videos all the time, okay? Like, we've covered so many TikToks that say things like, why are men not emotionally available? Or why don't men communicate how they feel? And when men do communicate how they feel, a lot of these girls just misinterpret it. Maybe the guy is genuinely apologetic for what he did. Maybe he did something bad and he messed up, okay? Or maybe, maybe he is actually trying to get her to shut the hell up. In any case, why are we in these situations where she's going to go on and complain that this is something that happens multiple times and the dude's just obviously a red flag because he apologizes? Like, it's gotten to the point, guys, where if you kind of do anything it's seen as a red flag. We've seen TikTok videos where it's a red flag if the dude has a dog. It's a red flag if the dude has a cat. Okay, it's a red flag if the dude likes this sports team. And dudes are just over here like, okay, well, anything that I do is a red flag. So what's the point of even engaging with you outside of some bedroom relations? Like, if you're just going to sit there and complain about everything that I do, what's the point of even doing it? What's the point of apologizing? What's the point of talking to you when it all just seems to be a complete waste of time?
Okay, I'm sorry. What can you do now? Can't be mad at me. I said sorry. Okay, but I'm still mad. And now you just took away my right to be mad. And if you have to have the same conversation over and over again about one issue, manipulation.
Manipulation. If you have to have a conversation about the same issue more than once, guys, obviously the man is manipulating you. I mean, obviously. And guys, I cannot possibly imagine to myself, like, can you guys think to yourselves for a second, okay? You know, you have a hard night at work or a hard day at work, you get home, you want to go to bed, and then you just hear crap like this. Well, we've had this same conversation like 5 times, and I just feel like you're manipulating me and nothing ever changes, and you said that you were sorry. It's like, bro, shut up. Like, why would a dude voluntarily enter into a relationship and say to himself, yes, this is a sane decision that I am making?
Because if they were really sorry, they would have changed their behavior the first time. But they didn't. They just want to be like, shut up. I said sorry, you can't be mad at me. I'm gonna change. But then they don't.
Yeah, and guys, like I said this at the start of the video, okay, but we are not interested in trying to change people. A lot of modern women, and I think a lot of girls, you know, the 5 women who watch this channel might agree with me here for once, girls actually have this problem where they think that they can change people. Like, they think that going out here and trying to change that bad boy is something feasible. Like, so many girls, what they do is they end up hurting their own feelings because they are trying to change someone who has no interest in actually changing. Like, they're out there trying to change the behaviors of a guy who clearly doesn't have any interest in her, clearly isn't going to take her seriously, or clearly just isn't into a relationship. And girls will bend over backwards, literally hurting themselves because they're trying to get a guy to behave in a different way. It's absolute craziness to me, guys. But let's jump into this next TikTok here. And this is the second woman that we played at the beginning of the video. And she has some text on the screen, which you guys wouldn't have been able to see on the first playthrough. So let me show you this. She says, you know what sucks. So let's take a listen.
You know what sucks? When you try and change a guy's dating pattern.
Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, you try and compete with other women for the attention of this guy. Okay, so you're sitting here and you're saying, you know, it sucks when you try and change a guy from going out here and getting with a whole bunch of women to actually committing to you. Yeah, I know it's super crazy, but dudes who have options are typically not interested in commitment. Like, this is something that just seems to be lost to a lot of modern women. They just don't seem to understand it. They seem to think that, oh, well, maybe I can get him for 20 minutes here. That means that I'm deserving of having him for a long period of time. It doesn't work like that. Okay, they're complaining about chasing the guys who have options, and then they're complaining when they get treated like said option. It makes absolutely no sense.
And the minute you leave, he's back at it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a side piece. Okay, here's the logic here of this woman, guys. She's a side piece. She's trying to become a main girl or a girlfriend. She leaves his house after some bedroom fun, and then all of a sudden he's seeing other women again. Yes, that's exactly how it works, yes.
Back at it. Men are just so ungrateful.
I'm sorry, I'm missing the part where we're supposed to have gratitude, by the way. Like, even the dudes at the top 20%, the top 10% of men who can just go out here and get with a whole bunch of women, where's the part that even they should be gratuitous for? Like, you say that men are supposed to be grateful for what? You trying to change them? For you trying to, in your own words, change their dating habits? I don't understand why you think that it's some great gift to man that you enter into his life. Like, this attitude, guys, of I'm going to enter into a man's life and therefore he should be grateful, is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of modern women are single. Because they seem to have this idea that, okay, well, a man is lucky to have me. A man should be just, you know, rolling over, doing whatever the hell I want him to do because I enter into his life. And that's not how it works. Guys don't want that kind of headache. guys, if a woman enters into a man's life and she just feels as though everything that's his is hers, and she feels as though she's above him, and she starts starting arguments over crap, and she starts trying to change his behavior, just in any capacity, it doesn't have to be in a dating capacity, but if you enter into a man's life, you're trying to turn everything upside down, you feel like you're better than him, you're trying to change his behavior, it might surprise you to know that men actually don't like that for the most part. Like, there's some dudes who are crazy enough to be into that, okay? But for the most part, men are not actually interested in crazy women who are out here trying to disrupt their lives. I know, guys, just absolutely crazy. But guys, speaking of disrupting interpersonal lives, we have a couple of Reddit stories that we're going to be going through here today. So we've got a series of short ones that I wanted to show you guys, found over on one of our favorite subreddits, guys. Of course, relationship advice. Now, relationship advice just has been my go-to for content lately, guys, because you can find people posting about their relationships here and the problems that they have. I don't want to be the guy to say it, guys, but they're incredibly common. Okay, so these things that we talk about on the channel of, you know, the particular behaviors that a lot of girls will do to men, it's not surprising, actually, when you go onto these subreddits and you find out that they're incredibly common. So let's take a read of this first one here, if I can hit the right button. There we go. My 28-year-old male girlfriend, who is 25 years of age, is still friends with a previous friends with benefits. So she's keeping around this guy that she used to see in a bedroom sense. And by the way, this guy that she's keeping around, he was a friends with benefits. So it wasn't just it's not a previous, it's actually technically worse than keeping around an ex-boyfriend, because the ex-boyfriend actually had to commit to the woman. This guy that this woman is keeping around, he didn't have to commit to anything. He didn't have to have a relationship with her. He probably didn't have to take her out on dates or anything like that. No, he was just a friends with benefits that this guy's girlfriend is choosing to keep around. Absolutely insane. And this is like the part of the story. We haven't even gotten into it yet, guys, but my thought process is always, okay, why should a man who's going into his 30s, maybe he's looking for something serious, maybe he's not, but in any case, why should a 28-year-old man commit to a woman who just goes around having friends with benefits? Like, the part that always escapes me, guys, is men are expected to offer up commitment to girls who now require commitment out of them. Like, this guy didn't have to give away commitment to her. He didn't have to take her out on dates. He didn't have to treat her well, but this guy has to enter into a relationship with her. It just makes the whole idea of going into a relationship with a woman, it's like, why would you? You know? Let's keep going. I talked with her about it and I'm unsure on how I feel. She stated if I had just told her that I didn't like her being friends with him in the beginning of our relationship, she would have cut him off. It's 8 months into our relationship and I love her wholeheartedly and vice versa. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dispute this one. Okay, guys, this is a bit of a hot take for the gentleman at home. I would say, guys, that a girl, first of all, you know, believing in this whole Disney fairy tale idea of love, you got to throw that out the window. But first thing that comes to mind is she really does not love you because she doesn't respect you anyway. A girl who loves and or respects you doesn't want to keep around a previous friends with benefits in front of your face. If a girl actually cares about you, if she actually respects you, I'm going to just substitute this word, respect. If she actually respected you, she wouldn't have around this dude who she had a friends with benefits with before you. So he goes on to say, I trust her, I just don't like having him around as her friend. She's gotten pretty close with his girlfriend and she's fine with them being friends as long as one couple is present. His girlfriend and him hanging with my girlfriend or me and my girlfriend hanging with him. I tried being his friend too and added him on Instagram to see if we'd connect. This guy is a dumbass. I'm just going to come out here and say this, guys. Why on earth would a man want to be friends who connect on Instagram with another man who has gotten with his girlfriend? That is just completely and utterly beyond me. Like, why would you as a guy want to go out here and connect with your girlfriend's friends with benefits? Like, what kind of society do we live in, guys? I swear to you, things are just so backwards right now. That was a fail, he says. We have completely separate interests. My girlfriend never hangs out alone with him either, only when his girlfriend is there as well. Yeah, I wouldn't believe this if I were you. If your girlfriend is telling you that every time she hangs around this man, the girlfriend is also there, I would sincerely doubt it. We came to a compromise that they can be friends as long as she doesn't talk about him at all in front of me. a, can you guys imagine compromising? Like, yeah, why is the dude expected to compromise with the woman? This is the part of the relationship where you just leave, my guy. You just leave. You say, I'm done. Goodbye. I'm out. I'm not interested. Okay? Because this girl, what's the point of committing to her? Hell, you might even just be the friends with benefits. Why give up your commitment? Why give up your sanity to go through this situation when, hey, you could probably just get her as a friends with benefits anyway? So what's the point? What's the point of being the shoulder to cry on, so to speak? I feel physically sick knowing that I could have told her this in the beginning and she would have cut him off. But due to her and his girlfriend becoming close friends, she feels she can't. Any advice? First of all, she can. Second of all, she's making up this excuse. She's saying, I can't cut off this guy. Oh, because I've become friends with his girlfriend. This is absolute bullcrap. And girls will come up with these little preconditions and say, oh, I can't because of some ridiculous reason. She absolutely could stop talking to this guy. She just doesn't want to. She likes having him around. She likes having him as the potential option in the background. And I guarantee you, when this guy screws up, when she loses all of her respect for him, it sounds like she's almost there. You know, she's going to go and see this dude and go and get with him, in all likelihood, behind this man's back. It sounds to me like she's pretty much almost already there. But guys, let's jump into some of these comments here, because I'm pretty sure this first comment was pretty interesting. Let's take a look. So this is written by an individual named Rustic Hyphen 6 hours ago, and they say, it never fails to amuse me how many people rush to the comments of posts like this to exclaim loudly, well, original poster, in my relationships, I like to have a very specific dynamic that works for me, and everyone who disagrees with this dynamic is incredibly insecure and jealous or stupid. Like, it never enters their mind, the idea that different relationships have different dynamics and different people have different boundaries. My best advice for you, original poster, try to delve deep into why you hold these feelings specifically. There's a chance that you might be okay with them being friends, and you just need to think about it already a little more. This guy has said, again, guys, this is why men don't communicate their feelings a lot of the times, because when they actually do communicate their feelings and how they feel about these particular situations, what's the first thing that happens? Okay, basically the man's feelings towards the situation just get invalidated. Okay, you might actually be okay with them being friends despite the fact that this guy has communicated nothing to say this at all. They go on to say, ignore everybody in the comments that are telling you insecurity and jealousy destroys relationships, blah, blah, blah. Insecurities can be incredibly important to have and occasionally act as the foundation to set certain boundaries. If you feel uncomfortable for whatever reason with her having a specific friend, go with your gut feeling. Don't sit around and have other people convince you that your boundaries and intuition is wrong. Communicate with your partner, figure out whether or not this relationship is a deal breaker for you or for her, and proceed accordingly. If it were me, I wouldn't be comfortable with my girlfriend consistently hanging out with some other dude that she had bedroom fun with, regardless if it's alone or not. Ignore the people in the comments saying blah 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 blah. They conclude this by saying, also, she absolutely can stop talking to him and keep talking to his girlfriend. Not sure why she's lying about that. I'll tell you why she's lying about that. She's lying so that she can keep the dude around. Guys, women love orbiters. They love guys that they can keep around for the free attention, the free validation. Okay, if she's bored of her boyfriend, if she wants to leave that relationship, then all of a sudden she can go back to this guy. That's why she keeps the dude around. Okay, and I wouldn't be surprised as well if, like, certain situations arise with with all three of them, not the main guy in this. But I wouldn't be surprised if the dude that she used to hang around with and his girlfriend and her all end up in a situation down the line when this guy ends the picture, if you see what I'm saying. But let's keep going here. You guys are in your mid to late 20s. She's not a middle schooler. It's not that hard to keep in contact with only one person in a relationship. You have a bunch of friends and she doesn't have, probably. Same thing, vice versa. Seems like a complete cop-out. Yes, it is a complete cop-out. The girl just wants to have the man around. Now, guys, let's jump into the next one here. Like I said, we've got a series of small Reddit stories that I want to show you guys. This next one is titled, again, 3 hours ago at the time of recording this, my girlfriend for almost 4 years, technically now my ex, broke up with me because she assumed that I was looking at other women at a Halloween party. I tried to convince her that her accusation is not true since I was beside her all along, and I love her so much that the fact of having an affair with another woman disgusts me, he says. But still, she would not listen and dumped me immediately for reasons beyond my comprehension and control. She even removed me from all of her social media accounts. I need some advice to convince her that I remain loyal to her. I am desperate. What is with men? I've got to roast dudes here for a second, okay? This sentence right here, gentlemen, absolutely disgusts me. I need advice to convince her that I remain loyal to her. No, you don't. I don't understand, guys, men's need to try and convince people to like them. The same thing that I highlighted at the start of today's video. Girls have this need to try and quote unquote fix men. Guys seem to have this need to keep people around or to show people that they care. This girl doesn't care about the man. Why on earth is he trying to demonstrate loyalty to her? And I will say this, the reason why she has probably deleted him from all of her social media, the reason why she broke up with him with no explanation is probably because she was messing around with another dude, and that's just the end of it. She's using it basically as an excuse. Okay, she probably cheated on a guy at that exact same Halloween party, and then she broke it off so that she could cope with herself and not convince herself that she's a disgusting human being for doing so. Now let's continue into the next story here, guys. We have, I think, 2 more, and then we will wrap up today's episode. So this one is titled, I Need Some Advice from Some Wise Souls. Now, I don't remember this one at all, so let's take a listen. I, a 22-year-old male, she is 23 years old. Little backstory, we were together for 5 years. We got married last year, heard all of the promises from her, but I realized now that she never loved me. Stuff got tough after we had our first child. Our daughter was 1 when we got married in 2022. This year in March, she went away and was only supposed to be gone for a weekend. It turned into 2 weeks and she came home to the house. She said that she was done when she arrived. Next day, she was packing up her stuff. I was destroyed and didn't understand what was going on. Did everything you shouldn't do, begging and so on. You get the picture. She told me that she needed a quote-unquote break. There's that word again, guys. Needed a break. That I needed to work on myself and that I was a narcissist. I tell you what, guys, the amount of times that I have seen the word narcissist be thrown at the most caring men is almost uncountable. The guys who care for the women the most, the guys who are willing to show them loyalty, to have long-term relationships, who are looking at marriage and a family down the line, these men, I tell you what, are the most likely to be called a narcissist. This is the point I'm making, where words like this basically just end up being completely worthless. When you throw around words like narcissist to good men, when you call good men misogynists, right? When you come out here and you throw all of these words at them, or toxic masculinity, these words start to lose meaning, and men will look at you as a complete joke for saying them because they effectively mean nothing. Basically, it just means I need an excuse to get out of this situation. I'm going to paint myself as the victim, so I'm going to call the man a narcissist, even though he probably isn't. Which kind of shocked me because I did everything for her, putting her first in everything, worked well, she stayed home with the kid, etc. So this guy was a workhorse for the woman, did absolutely everything for her. She just up and left with the kid and called him a narcissist. Incredibly common. Incredibly common. She left to go live with her sister. I moved back in with my parents. Thank goodness we hadn't bought a place because we were planning to next year. Anyways, I was crushed for the next month. Started doing things to numb the pain, drinking lots. The pain I was feeling and can't be put into words. I would still text her saying how much I love her and I want us to make us work. Where is your self-respect, my guy? She was cold, distant, and mean. Cut my family off completely and my family loved her. She turned into someone I've never known. Found out that she was going behind my back with her ex-boyfriend that she was with before we even got together. Yep. That's what happens in situations like these. When your girlfriend just ups and leaves and she just changes and flips a switch, it's literally 90% of the time because she cheated with some other dude. Whether that's her ex-boyfriend or a previous friends with benefits from the previous story, guys. That's why girls will change their behavior like this. It's so that they can cope with themselves. So they say, oh, well, I didn't cheat because I broke up with him a day after I got with this guy repeatedly, you know? I cut her off after that. Other than talking with my daughter, she's all I have now. We have about a 50-50 split. This guy is actually lucky here for getting a 50-50 split. A lot of guys can't even get 50-50, which is incredibly sad. Started to work on myself after that, going to the gym, golfing, stopped drinking, still in a lot of pain. It's only been 7 months, but I feel so much better. My daughter really is the reason I'm alive. I would be, again, getting a paternity test. There is a good chance this daughter is not yours, by the way. If she was seeing her ex-boyfriend at the start of your relationship or whatever the case may be, chances are this daughter isn't actually yours. We're still technically married, but I know I could never be with her again, but now she wants to be friends. Wow, would you look at that? How could I ever have a friendship with my ex who betrayed me? I forgive her for myself. I think she is still with this other guy. Whatever. I'm on a journey and want to be single for a while, but she keeps texting me. I just have a bad feeling. I don't know what to do. I guess I don't know what I was ever doing. I feel dumb. So at least this guy's having the self-respect to, you know, understand that he's got to be doing other things and that he can't be friends with her. He needs to just absolutely cut this woman off to the extent that he can. Make sure he gets a paternity test on the kid, because in all likelihood, the kid isn't his. Just absolutely disgusting situation. One that happens to a lot of guys, and this is one of the reasons, guys, why I can't recommend getting married in the year 2022. Because if you get into these situations where you're married, especially for long periods of time, you as a guy are at a, you're at a severe disadvantage for trying to keep that kid. Okay, the odds of you having, why on earth you would ever want to have a kid and then split up the custody is just beyond me, because the kid suffers. But, if you're a dude who's married and these situations happen, you've got your kid on the line, you've got a lot of your possessions on the line, a lot of your income on the line. And when I say income, I also mean your future income. Generally, it just is not worth the risk. But guys, let's jump into today's last Reddit story, and then we're going to wrap up today's episode. So let's take a read of this. This is from r/divorce, and it is a question. When beginning a relationship with someone who has been in a divorce, is it fair to ask what happened? So I just started dating a woman who is 4 years removed from a divorce. She said that she was never really in love with her husband, and that the only reason they married was because she was young and dumb. Also, she said that she basically had to take care of him and that the marriage was a nightmare. However, getting curious and looking on Instagram on finding evidence to the contrary, it looked like they were very much in love. All of his posts were about her and doing things for her. I know snooping is not the way to go, but I couldn't help it. So basically, this woman got a divorce, basically said that the reason she got a divorce was because it's the man's fault. And then what happens when you actually look into the situation? You find evidence to the contrary. Guys, I cannot count the amount of times that I have heard women complain about their ex-boyfriends, their ex-husbands, whatever the case may be, and saying, oh, he was the A word, okay, or he did these terrible things to me. And then you talk to the guy and you find out that it's not the case at all, and the guy would never hurt a damn fly, and he did absolutely everything for her, and she cheated on her. The amount of times I have heard that situation, guys, honestly would make anyone sick. Okay, these words, like I said, oh, he's a narcissist, or we got a divorce because he was just this and that and this and that. If you actually take a look at the man and you take a listen to what the other guy has to say in the situation, oftentimes you figure out that the woman is just straight up lying and not being truthful about the situation at all. This is why I don't believe women. Until there's proof, guys, I do not believe people in general when they say that their ex was the A word. Particularly girls, guys. I think girls are a lot more guilty of saying this crap than the men are, but let's continue. From my research, it seems like there's more to the story of the divorce than what I'm being told, I think he means. Is it fair to me to ask what happened, blah, 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 or do I just need to ride this out and put all the pieces together on my own? The reason I'm asking is because it seems like her husband was a nice guy, and it seems like he worshipped her. I know social media can be deceiving, but it's contrary to what I heard. And I'm just curious because honestly, she seems very self-absorbed to me, and I'm kind of ready to raise the red flag, or am I being paranoid? You are not being paranoid at all, my friend. There has been many red flags in this particular situation, and I love how guys will go through all of this. Men will literally see a million red flags, and then guys will be like, is this a red flag? Yes, my guy, it absolutely is. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the things that we have covered here today. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. And with that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.